Live video is starting.
Ta-da.
Yay! You are now live. Welcome, everybody. It's been like a month since we've been live with y'all. And
It's been a busy month.
yes, I have been all over the world. So, hey. Oh, who's that? Hey, how are you? Oh my gosh, so good to see you. Welcome, welcome. So I have really enjoyed engaging with everybody as much as I could get on Wi-Fi while I was over in Egypt. And so we wanted to just come on here a little bit today and just say happy holidays. And this is literally a year full cycle for us doing on the full moon and the new moon. So it's our year anniversary.
Yeah.
I am Aiylah. Hi. So I don't know y'all, but if you haven't come to our video, welcome. Thanks for being here. Make sure you click follow. Hey, all, thank you for the hearts. Good to see you. Oh, it's so good to be back. Really good to be back on. We were just going to do this video really quick because the full moon is today. And we wanted that we captured some kind of recap for this full moon, as well as I could tell you the Egypt trip in person. I've been sharing stuff on Instagram and it's been going over to my Facebook, but it's been thanks for the hearts, y'all. That's so sweet. So we are with Temple of the Sacred, which is our church where we offer ceremony circles, we offer teachings, different types of reads with our inner goddess retreats, and our newsletter by going to Temple of the Sacred Heart. Click the join, and that's going to get the newsletter as well as a member to our what's it called? Just church, really. It's a membership, and that way, when we have stuff coming up, and ceremonies, retreats, and different events, we do some online. We have some collaborations for 2020 coming up. Different things that we're doing with other community in different areas of the country. So we'll share with you a little bit about what we have going on there. What else?
Solstice.
Yes.
Solstice. Reset. We were going into the dark. We're
going into the darkest hours next couple days.
So, and then we get to start our way back to the light.
Yes. The 21st, that cusp right there is that darkest hour. Here we are, the full for that
20
and then 2. Yeah, it's a really funny meme the other day that like Moira Rose from what's the show? Schitt's Creek, and she says,
realize that 20 is 22.
TOO. So we're not doing that again. No, we already been there, done that fucking t-shirt, and sold that t-shirt on Marketplace. That's done. That's complete. So we're moving into 2020. It is what it is. Yes. Her uncle is making it is what it is 2021 because 2021 is like 12 years long. So here we are in the 12th year one, which has been the longest and most incredible year ever. So yeah, I had dreadlocks 16 months ago as well. When I started that journey, I had no idea what kind of journey that was. It was quite, it has been still in it, and it's been beautiful and powerful and horrible and all those things. So it took me to a culmination of heading over to Egypt when I said yes. And this has been a year of saying yes, living my truth, and just unarguably doing what I hear in my heart is my path for this life. And it's Egypt. And so I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a little bit. Let's talk about some of the things we have next a month or two. If y'all want to catch the beginning of this video, at least you can catch up. So. No.
We have Oklahoma.
Yes.
Coming up.
It's a sold-out retreat. If y'all got excited, because we're going to get to spend a whole weekend together with you in Oklahoma State Park. And Joe Piccarelli and Haley are hosting this. This has been several years. They host every season. So winter, spring, summer, and fall they host. And this one is at Sequoia State Park, which is a beautiful lodge. And it's a very much a womb-like space because it's going to be in the middle of winter, Oklahoma, which is going to be cold. The whole theme is rebirth. And so that's definitely
a new year right after solstice.
It's going to be great. So I will be leading the ceremony and being a class the next day, which is intuitive vinyasa, shamanic healing, and Reiki, which we will have internet so I can stream that live full weekend in January on that Saturday, 8th, I believe. And then you'll be
DJing.
What's the theme of your
Saturday night? Dance your spirit.
Yeah.
So
she'll record
out. Yes. She'll remind
her to hit record. Yeah, her sets are amazing. She just put one up on her Mixcloud, by the way. So what's your Mixcloud?
DJ Sunray.
Mixcloud.com?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah. So find her last mix from Radiant Souls, Ivory Island. It was a great mix.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. So medicine for the people, but didn't hit record. So darn it. It was a great set. It was like a 2-hour set.
Many mix over the last 20 years have done. God record.
So that's why I'm here. Reminder. So yes. So hey Perry, what's up? So good to see you. Doing good. Thanks for jumping on. So we are also doing a festival with medicine and over the spring equinox. So that's medicine for the rain. In dripping smooth locations this year. You can find those on our website at yogaforlove.com. Thanks for the hearts. Good to see you. Mm-hmm. Perry, are you in medicine this year? Hopefully we'll almost see all that are Texas tribe at that event. We have a women's retreat the first weekend of, is that right? Yeah. First weekend of April, women's retreat, Inner Goddess retreat in North Texas. And we have a spring ceremony coming up for the spring equinox, which is I think the first weekend of March. The things we have coming up the next quarter. Big events for next year is Costa Rica. We're about to launch those tickets. So the ticket sales are going to come live here shortly. And if you're on newsletter, you're going to be the first to know because those go out to our emails before we publish those publicly. Make sure you go to templeofthesacredheart.org and join our newsletter and join our membership. So we can make sure you know about these things that are coming up. And when we do launch it, we usually launch it with a early bird special, so a really good discount. And we're doing a payment plan that doesn't have any financing fees on it. So it's the last weekend of October 2020 on the Caribbean side, the reggae side. Yaman. So we have a reggae band going to come to Little Bungalows, and it is at Tierra de los Sueños, the land of the dreams, a yoga retreat center. It is not a yoga retreat. We will be doing yoga, but it is not a yoga retreat. It is an inner goddess retreat. So we'll be working plant medicine. We'll have the opportunity to sit with a local shaman as an additional night to the retreat. We'll be working with cacao, and we'll have an opportunity to go into the jungle and do some waterfall hikes. We're 5 minutes from the beach, so we'll be able to walk from the jungle to the beach and just go to the beach. We have an opportunity to go actually spend some time with the Bree tribe and learn from some of the local medicine people. So this is more of a shamanic medicine, Reiki type event where we do yoga and meditation. So if that's something that you're looking for and you are a female, then absolutely, it's women only. So we are going to be launching that soon. So private message if you're interested too. We can make sure we drop you the when that goes live. But also make sure, like I said, better and join our membership at Temple of the Sacred Heart. And then I'll take you to the Yoga for Love website. Click join. And what else do we have? We're going to be. We may or may not go to Hawaii next year. It's going to depend on our location where we're living, Texas. So that may change. Currently, we're planning on staying in Texas. So if we have time, we're going to add a Hawaii retreat and Texas retreat again in fall. We have Reiki trainings off and on throughout the year. That's really enough about that.
I think there's at least the first half and part of the second half of the coming year.
So we want to talk to you a little bit about the full moon energy solstice coming up and Gemini, the twins. So the combined chart is Gemini, twin flames under the sign of Gemini. Our ruling sign is Virgo is Venus. And there's a lot going on with Venus right now. Venus
is going retrograde. Sunday, yeah. So she will be retrograde. I don't remember how long. Maybe a month or so.
I don't know. That's your lane. Okay.
Well, it's been a little crazy. I
don't know the astros.
I was in Egypt, and so I was busy.
Yeah, it's good. I mean,
did not
Google it.
Yeah.
If Venus is retrograde means a lot.
There's some major shifts coming for January. Big theme is Capricorn energies. We are moving the nodes. The moon was shifting, so it's been in Gemini and Aquarius since May of 2020, and now the nodal shifts are shifting from Gemini and to Capricorn. Is that correct?
What does it mean?
That has to do with the nodes are the north node and the south node. Those are the directions in which we are kind of, if it's in your natal chart, it's kind of guided along our, like, some of the poles of how we are becoming. It's like her and our past, where we came from and where we're going.
Oh, okay.
So as a whole, it's kind of been the energy is the but that's now shifting from the Gemini Sagittarius.
Does it stay on?
18 months approximately.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
this is pretty significant because we've been
in this big shift
for a while.
18 months. May of 2020 to now, that's a big significant section we've all been dealing with.
There's a major transit that's closing with Venus ending in Cap 2, which I do know because I do follow Venus closes. There's a lot of our it's tied to that planet, and it's June of 2020, and it's wrapping up here in it's shifting, and so that transit cycle is a major cycle. So that's reset as well. So I do know a little bit of the astro stuff. So yes. So anyway, we're at we have this winter solstice is coming on as it's through the return of the light. So holding a winter solstice plant medicine this weekend with some core sisters from our tribe and holding space for all of us, all watching, and we're holding space for this holding into this
Taurus, Scorpio, by the way, not Taurus.
Oh, okay. Where the nodes are?
Yeah.
Okay. So the energy is where we're getting into the darkest, deepest part of the womb, and that space where everything is just the void, into that space of the void. And so that's a place where we can be in our practices right now too, is really working on our own self-care time, quiet time, focusing on in our meditations and not on an object, but utilizing the object to take us into that deeper space where we can be without the thought, just simply be, and be in that cosmic void where all creation swirls around, and our frequency up high enough where we can get in space of just simply being without thought. And we may be there for glimpses and moments, just. But so that's really as the solstice comes to illumination, then on the 21st, the light begins to grow. And from the 21st of December to the 20th of June, the light begins to grow, celebrate the light. And so it's this cyclical nature and that's the thing that I was able to completely experience, not only experience, but remember when I was in Egypt, is the being in the cult of the sun, worshiping the sun god Ra, Amun Ra, and being in that space of being able to see the sun and everything. All the temples are built on the celestial movements, and just the deep remembrances of practices. And that's so fundamental. Christianity is based on those practices as well. So even if you are Christian, you can still around the movement planets and the movements of the seasons. So that's a very ancient practice as well. If you look at the ancient structures, obviously being one of those major ones, based in Celtic Christianity and Celtic lore, Celtic practice, they don't necessarily be, what's the word, in discord. They can be in accordance no matter what your belief system. So I just want to reassure you that these are practices that are eternal. They have nothing to do with dogma. And so we are all here because the sun, and if the sun didn't exist, our planet would fail, to hold life. And so it's really beautiful since, well, first of all, going through the Sahara was mind-boggling and amazing. Literally got to see a mirage, like Looney Tunes, like, oh, mirage in the desert, like you saw when you're in the cartoon, like. But they're real. It really does look like off in the distance, and it's just sand for as far as you can see. We were on a tour bus going through, and there was one little stop in the middle of the Sahara on a journey, and it's this little oasis, cold drinks and Turkish coffee in a little gazebo. And we stopped there and got a drink and a coffee, and a lot of the girls on the bus were like, oh, I need to move. I've been sitting for too long. And I'm like, let's go do some yoga. And they're like, well, we can do yoga when we get to the hotel. And I'm like, that's another couple hours away. Let's just do it right now. So we literally walked across the street, walked into the desert, and did a yoga practice, which was crazy and beautiful. And the lastness, and my 12-year-old nephew, and we were kind of on speakerphone. This kid, oh, Oliver, love you so much.
He's like 50.
he's an old
12-year-old body.
So he goes, there's just a lot of energy, and the vastness of and just the vastness of it is so. And I'm like, he's talking first person, like, oh my God, this kid, he gets it. So really a beautiful experience.
When were you there?
I know. So you were there recently, because he totally remembers. So the land is constantly swept to the air, and so they constantly has a filter over the sun. Literally sun gaze with your naked eye. I'm not recommending that. I'm just, you can. Little legal over there. You're not supposed to sun, but you can. And I believe truly that is why when back in the Egyptian times, we could do that. We could literally just gaze fully at the sun and not see the sun, but see the actual sun. And that's why the sun is always depicted as rock with the round, like in Hathor, she has the cow's horns on it like this, and inside of it is this, and it's the divine feminine, the yoni, and the completion of that. And the sun itself, as able to, when you're able to gaze at it like that, you can fully appreciate how extremely radiant, how important it is in our practice. So something that I got to experience firsthand, sitting at the temple of Suit and sitting in the temple with all the columns of around me, Dr. Paul sitting next to me, round bowl, and watching the sun rise, hot air balloons that were lifting off at sunrise way across this, and as the sun was coming up, is peeking over the horizon, and the column there was shadow on my right eye. I could see fully with my left eye, and I was sitting shoulder to shoulder with him, so I couldn't over too much, but that was a blessing because spirit covered my right eye. It's like, like at the eye doctor and with my left eye, I could fully the radiance of the sun, and around the sun, you could see the energy going blue around the sun, and it was the most amazing thing, and I couldn't not look at it. So I was like, okay, either this is going to clear my eye or it's going to just wipe my eye, because I was so fixed on that gazing point, magnificent and so transformative. And then all the birds living in the at the top of the column started singing and joining us in our meditation. And then we all had a beautiful home at the end. And if you were one of the people that donated my beautiful tribe, thank you for your support, for donating, and you'll be receiving a crystal that was charged at all of bowls. And so that was one too, is that I had all the crystals there, matching them up. Many of them I got to lay out actually on the ground or put them up against the hieroglyph and charge them. You could still order a set of those crystals too if you're interested in those activations. But what I would say is that I recorded all of audio and video. And for those of you that are supporting my journey and still are supporting my journey monetarily, then I'm going to be sharing with you audios and videos in a private file that's not on media. So, and if you're interested in receiving evil quartz that was charged at every single temple that I went to, including the very, very center of the Great Pyramid, or you want a set of 10 crystals that were charged independently in each of the locations up the Nile, in the root chakra, all the way up to the crown, and the crystals are in order of those chakras. And so I will notate which is charged where, and you'll get a whole set. And you can order those still. They are on yogaforlove.com/Egypt. If you'd like a set of those, your support means so much to the ability to continue to do work. And so I thank you in advance for all of you who have already placed that donation. It's life-changing and transformative. And it's continuing to have massive downloads every day as integrating.
Yeah, she's adjusting, still reading back into this timeline, this time zone, all of that. So those of you that are, please be patient. We still are shifting and the holidays are coming. It is
Yes, they will be
on their way soon.
So I just want to share.
She hasn't even been packing. I haven't even seen all the things.
Everything that I got, all the treasures and the different things that I picked up while I was over there are still wrapped in bubble wrap in my suitcase. I haven't even went through everything. I literally just dirty clothes out in my shoes and
they just got washed today.
Yeah, and I've been back. Well, this will be 7 days, but
it's taken a minute.
Yeah, a minute. The jet lag is for real. You know, that ain't no joke. But not only it's also the amount of massive activity, and
they're still happening.
They're even just a couple hours ago, as I was reading the book called Initiation, I had a deep remembrance again. And so as being in the space of Hatshepsut, Queen, and it's a beautiful temple. It's a 3-tiered temple and has a massive amount of steps going up to it. And as you are looking, on the left is the Hathors, and on the right is Anubis. And so there's a separate little temple for each on each side, and there is the main temple and the sanctuary. And so the temples are open air, and a lot of the temples are open air, and then them are enclosed. But as I was sitting in that, looking at the sun wash over me, this deep remembrance of that exact view, first person, or in my past, it as queen, sitting out and seeing the courtyard, which is massively huge. There's not any what are they called, inclusion wall in this courtyard. It's more open, and it was a place where thousands and thousands could gather. And in the remembrance, I could see activity level, and it was fully present, which is really crazy because the activity in remembering in a quantum time still happening. Like I could see people and vendors and horses and donkeys and camels and all of this, but yet when you look out in the 3D world, it's not there. But you can feel it there. You can still feel the energy of all of that happening. And it's current, it's not energy. It's not ancient energy. The only time I felt real ancient energy was in the temple of which temple was that? On the new moon. Literally 2 weeks ago, it was the temple of I'm trying to think. Well, it was a very, very masculine temple. Energy was super old.
Is it the Ramses temple?
No, the Ramses temple was the first temple we went to.
The
Horus temple. Yeah, the Horus temple, and the energy was really dissonant.
With the commander's seat.
Yes, there was a spaceship chair in that particular location that one of the guards showed that I got to sit in, and it was like a command chair with like the controls and everything. And I'll tell you about that in a second. And so like the energy of that, you can feel it, you can sense it, very present, and it's also current. It's not just a memory. Does that make sense? And so
timelines,
like it's a quantum. Right, it's happening. There's no then and now when you're in those spaces. Literally time and space disappear. And to be in this space like that, when time and space disappears, it's mind-boggling, and every bit of your cellular memory activates. And like having these deep first person memory, seeing it and then being there and seeing it again and going, oh, I've been here before. This is so familiar, and I've seen this, and I've seen it when it's active, and people are here, and all of the activities of the daily life were happening. So that happened also. The second time that happened, of Philae, on the Isle of Philae, the temple of Isis. And that was, we went down, we went up the chakras. Nile runs from south to north, which is one of the rivers in the world that runs south to north. And so we started in Aswan and then went up to Abu Simbel. And so we went up through the chakras, and the Nile has chakras. And so going through from the root chakra, we started at the temple of Ramses, and Nefertari, his faith has a temple right next to it. And so that was a massive activation in and of itself, just being in that temple and having remembrance, which triggered that happened today when I was reading the book Initiation. And so it's the first temple that we went to. The first day, though, Kara, the step pyramid. And so that's really fantastic. That was all at the lower end of the chakra, and then moved all the way up to the crown at Abydos. And the temple of Abydos was, that's the temple that many of y'all that follow hieroglyphs and Egyptologists, that's the one temple in the lentil, that huge, ginormous 20, 40 ton brick of granite. Inside, or on the outside of that, is carved hieroglyphs, and it's way up there. Humongous columns. Like, you really can't explain how that got there. There's lots of theories on how those, but one of the most current theory is that when you resonate on with your highest vibration, that you can also choose to not resonate with gravity. And that's how people like gurus and things levitate. And that's how, if you can shift the frequency of something extremely, then you can shift the frequency enough where it doesn't have to respond to the physics of gravity. And that's how they were able to move those ginormous 40, to 1,000 ton huge pieces of granite. And on that, in the Abydos, the crown chakra, is that there is a helicopter, there is a spaceship, there is a tank, and an upside down gun. Shush! It's thunder. We're about to have a thunderstorm. And so that carved in the temple of Abydos on the second lintel in the hall of all the columns. And so, for those of us wonder if this technology was existent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago, and then here's a hieroglyph that has those carved into it. And this is the temple that has to do with the crown chakra. So, these evidences.
You're talking like 6,000 to 8,000 years.
I mean, nobody knows really the age.
I mean, thanks.
Yeah. So
6,000 to 8,000 years.
But
ago.
Helicopters were not. How could they put a helicopter, or even, which we don't even have in our existence of our 3D world, right, onto these hieroglyphs? Tank, which the tank is not necessarily a military tank. The tank is called Egypt. In hieroglyphs, it translates as Merkaba, and a Merkaba is basically a container for energy, moving energy, and our own body is a Merkaba. And so they're not in here; they're on our altar.
One sec.
So she's gonna go get the Merkaba. So the Merkaba is the representation of the tank in the hieroglyph, and then those things are just like mind-boggling to think of, right? So the journey went from root chakra to crown chakra, and so many activations. Sharing more as those activations get more solidified. I'll be sharing some that's not necessarily appropriate to share on Facebook. Did you get the white one too?
Yes, I have it right here. So you can see it's a triangle, and one And like, which camera am I? One facing down and one facing up. And then they're intertwined. So you've got 3 sides. And so within our energy body, we have
This one's mine.
a triangle and a triangle.
If it's the Leonardo da Vinci's anatomical representation of man.
Yeah. So triangle here, and then triangle going the opposite direction. And one is rotating one way, and the other is rotating the opposite direction. So if you can imagine, this top pyramid is spinning this way, but the bottom pyramid is spinning this way. Energetically, it creates a vortex, a toroidal pull, if you will, and that's the Merkaba. That is a traveling device.
Our little bodysuit, our jar of clay.
Get that energy going in meditation. You can concentrate on the spinning pyramids, and they expand, and then you are encompassed within Merkaba.
Right. And this is how they say they move those blocks.
You can travel it. You can go to multiple.
Well, you can telepathically communicate with people.
Absolutely.
You can move your energy from time and space. There is also, gurus and teachers who are able to be in quantum places at multiple times, because the point in time is simply to drop your energy this time zone, this location, right? There is a mastery of lifting out of the gravitational pull and not agreeing with physics, because the physics is simply an agreement, time and space. And so when you're in a space, you can travel out of that. And so that's what happens when you're in some of the vortex, the temples. And it is the whole existence of the Great Pyramid, in my humble. And so it's, it creates this piece of not having to agree with time, as you are just simply in this being in the void. And so many little places inside each of the temples that some of the guards that work there, of course, they all work for tips. They will come pull you aside and be like, hey, you want to come over here? And they're pretty awakened. They know where these are. And of course, you're going to drop them some for giving you these opportunities and letting you sit in these quantum spaces. So that happened many, many times over there. They also
know she's a queen. Look at her. And they're like, oh, yes, my queen, come.
That happened a lot. And so, there is a lot of like royal treatment over there, where it was just kind of like this recognition, and without not saying that with at all, it's just simply a recognition. And so there was opportunities that opened, doors that opened, relationships that happened, experiences that happened, and it's all related back to my memory of being there before, and recognition of others I had agreement with to meet them over there, and that we're going to go together with my tribe that I'm there with in time and space. We are all going to sign up at this moment to be at this retreat and go to this retreat together and do this work together. All 16 of us, we agreed to this, and people that I met while on my journey over there. The first moment I saw my Egyptologist, the thing he said to me is, he goes, oh, welcome back. Come home. It's good to see you again. He even asked my name. Just, there was that instant. He didn't say that to everybody. I'm not, you can say, oh, well, they just say that to everybody. But, there is this recognition that was so validating. And so it kept happening over. And even the guards were like, they'll take you to a spot where they know that you as a person activated. And they have this sense about them. They don't just everybody to the side. They wait. One person is kind of aside from the group. They know needs this activation. They're going to come over here, and there might be a group doing this thing, but you can go over here and sit in this vortex and sit in this spot, and they're going to watch you.
And see the difference between like avarice and then
right,
those that are like called upon a journey.
Right. I mean, we try to blend in and look like average tourists because you have to try to blend in and look like an average tourist. You will also get shut down for doing this work because any not in and of the Muslim, they will get in major trouble for allowing to hold a ceremony, pray, anything in that you're supposed to just be touristy and taking pictures. If you are doing any of those, since now the Muslim religion rules the country, then these guards will lose their jobs if they catch you doing anything that's what they call religion. So you have to be very discreet, and so we had to like look out for each other and kind of each other with each other's scarves and act like we're taking tours while someone else is actually standing in one of the vortexes. So it's very interesting, the dichotomy of the patriarchy that's currently going on in Egypt, and then the massive amount of very alive energy that's there and that's still present, and it's never went away. It's never shifted. It's just continually amplifying, and just to be in the presence of it is incredible and amazing. As I continue to share, I'll share these major vortexes, but not on Facebook, not on Instagram. I'm going to be sharing that on my channel only, or if you are part of our Temple of the Sacred Heart members, perhaps in a news with a link to a specific blog, something like that. But those kind of things and on social media, so I can't share that here. But if you do want to have a closer, deeper integration and activation, again, still get one of those crystal sets mailed to you at yogaforlove.com/Egypt. And then the people that are on that specific list, I'm going to make sure that y'all get the audios and the videos and the sacred activations that I actually recorded myself. So, and those are going to be, they can't be, deleted off of social media. And so anyway, I wanted to share today. There's so much more, but for time's sake, we're going to just and wish you an amazing, a beautiful holiday with your families. One of the major messages in the very, very heart of the Great Pyramid in the King's, we literally had to climb. And all of these temples, we got there before any tourists arrived. We got there at sunrise, first people to arrive, and the energy was still raw and pure. And we got in the center of the Queen's Chamber, climbing through this little tunnel, hunched over, climbing up these tiny stairs through all the rock that is to take us into the Great Pyramid. And I held an opening in the Queen's Chamber for them. We climb some more. I mean, the stairs are boards nailed into the rock, and you have to hike up, and you have to use your core, and you're really hunched over. And we get into the King's Chamber, and we did all meditation. And the major message I got was that no matter what work you're doing on this planet, your blood is so important. It is the most important thing, is your blood family. And so take your family into your heart this holiday season. Make sure you connect with your family members and let you love them, and let them know that they're important, and let them feel how important to you, because your blood is your, matter what kind of discrepancies, that's your bloodline, that's who you're born into. So it's so important for you to do your reach out to all of them if some of those relationships are not happening and in the not repairable or not open. Do the work on the quantum level, on the highest good, and reach with your soul and doing on that highest soul level. That's the biggest message. It was straight the Divine Mother in the form of Virgin Mary. And that is the message for you today, is as we go into this Holy Week, the the Immaculate Conception, Immaculate Birth, that you remember the Virgin Mary. She has compassion for all of us, such love for available to us at any given moment, to her love, to tap into her warmth, to arms and be held, and at this hold your family close and know that they're important to you, and make sure that they know that you love them. So that's my message for you today. Anything else? That's it.
She said it.
Well, just a reminder, show the warmth and love of the Divine Mother to all. Show that compassion to not only all, but yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. And your love is the only thing that's real. See you on our next video, which will be on the new moon in January. Actually, it's in January. So it'll be January
31st.
Mm-hmm. So we'll see you then.
Happy full moon, Merry Christmas, happy holidays,
New Year.
all the things. Happy completion, happy beginnings.
Yes, we'll see you soon. And make sure you drop a comment, share this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel, or make sure you follow so we can stay in touch. All right. Bye. Thanks for joining.